Hi everybody, Debs here with another episode on PTM Productions. Today we're going to be talking about Parasyte the Grey. Parasyte the Grey is a 2024 live action adaptation of Parasyte, which is originally a 1989 manga series written by Hitoshi Iwaki, and this is the third live action adaptation. The first one was in 2014, and it came out as a two-part movie. The second one was in 2015. There's also been 24 episodes which were produced in 2014 as well. And yeah, Parasyte the Grey, it depicts basically animals, no, parasites, which come from pods from outer space, and they only have one objective. Sorry about that. They only have one objective, which is to get a human host and to survive. And today I watched the series. I binged watch it because it's a very good series. I thought I'd watch one episode, but I eventually watched it all, and it wasn't my intention to do a review of it. And this is not really a review because I really like that thing. I felt that I would be unbiased if I had to do a review. Um, these are basically my thoughts on it. Parasyte, it it's a very good action series, but it's more than just a normal action series. Parasyte is actually quite a good series because they had a lot of. Parasyte is actually quite a good series because they had quite a lot of action, emotion, and I especially loved episode 4, which is a bridge scene, and that bridge scene, man, yeah, the suspense, the action, the drama, I think you'll like it very much. Now, Parasite the Grey was written and directed by Yeon Sang-ho, who was the director and writer of Train to Busan and its sequel, which basically shot to international fame and basically reinvented well, not really saying reinvented, but revitalized the zombie genre. Um, he also did the Netflix TV series of Hellbound, which was made in 2020, I think. And yeah, this is his second series adaptation, and he did an amazing job. I'm not gonna lie. Um, the series starts off with all these parasites looking for their host, and most of the parasites are. I like how the story begins, which is like everyone is basically just going about their day, having their daily struggles, and the only person who has the most tragic beginning, I'd say, is the person who's actually just enjoying himself. He's at a party, no, not really a party, but he's at a concert, and he's basically passed out, and the parasite latches onto him, and he massacres the whole crowd. Um, the sec, the last person who, the last person who gets the last person who gets attacked by these parasites is the main character. So in that this is the lady who we follow, and she works at a mart, and she gets attacked by a guy who thinks disrespected her at a market. The parasite attaches itself to her, and all of these parasites usually attach themselves to the brain and take over the brain, leaving the host with no way of controlling themselves. Basically, they take control of the host. But this parasite, by the time it reaches our main character, she is so injured that it basically focuses on healing her before it can really take over her brain. So basically, it cohabitates with her in the body and can only take over the body for like 15 minutes at a time. And it saves her from her attacker and heals her from her wounds right after that. So the story follows in, and the other main character is basically let me just look here. Um Kang Woo. Kang Woo is also he does his involvement with this thing is basically that he has two siblings who are affected by this whole parasite thing. his older sister who is completely taken over by a parasite, and who also is very much a secondary antagonist for the whole series, as she joins a church which sort of has this culty origins or culty look, but I wouldn't really say that. So they join the church, and the sister is sick. She is bedridden, as we're meant to believe. They don't really show it, and the younger sister, Kang Woo's younger sister, comes to go check on the sister and make sure she's doing well. And on the way home, she finds that the sister's well and okay, and the pastor's also well and okay. I like the episode structure because that's basically my summary of the season, because it's many of these moments are done through flashbacks, which is like at the beginning of each episode, which is something that I quite like. It's a very it's not something that hasn't been done before, but it's something that allows us to get more of the characters' backstory as as they, because this is a very plot driven series. So everyone is just like basically trucking forward, trying to solve this, problem, or get out of the situations that they find themselves in. So yeah, this guy, he basically runs home, and he wonders what happens when this guy runs home. He's running away from the mafia gang. So this mafia gang is very important to his character development, and as it reveals more about his character due to what has been happening with their dealings. Basically, he runs away from this mafia group, having been ordered to take out. The very first scene we see him in is where he's ordered to take out the head of the rival gang, and only to find out that he's been sold out throughout the series. He's been sold out by his own gang because they're trying to make peace, and he's the one who gets sold out. And this also it affects him because a lot of people who have helped him, he basically he doesn't really want to help them back because he's afraid of what could happen. And as the detective tells him at one point that and this I'll get to the detective now. The detective tells him that he's basically a coward and who's going to run away at the first sign of trouble. So that's why his group gets rid of him. So basically, this guy tries to get revenge on his sister by investigating what really happens to her, and then finds that that have been these parasites going around and killing people, and he finds that his sister has been killed by this parasite group. And instead of trying to take revenge, he just tries to run away. And this girl actually saves him. The parasite in this girl, who has only partially taken her over and only wants to survive, but is not really part of that group because she's not like a full parasite like they are. So she basically like they call her a mutant basically throughout the series. So what I like about that whole arc is that she basically saves him to protect herself, and like basically to communicate to herself, because the parasite and the host cannot talk to each other. They can't communicate to each other, and the parasite can only come out for like 15 minutes at a time. And yeah, this is it was quite a good way of introducing the characters to each other. Um, so the task force that this whole series is named after, the Grey. The Grey is a task force that is formed to take out all of these parasites, and they get introduced in the best of ways. Like this one parasite draws a victim to the other parasites, because they eat humans, but it's never really shown. But they are, because I always thought like that's a bit of cannibalism. They are human. They they're not really human, but they inhabit human bodies. So yeah, this group it gets introduced in the most badass of ways that this parasite lures one of it lures a victim into a building, and they try and eat this victim basically. But they get stopped by this group who, yeah, they come through and they just. It was a very good action scene where they just come in guns blazing, blasting through these very dangerous parasites, which the parasites usually take over the head and use the whole head as like these long tentacly things, these long tentacly arms basically. I'm not gonna say arms, but yeah, appendages which have very sharp points at the end. Some are shaped like knives, some are shaped like axes, and it's very awesome when they take those things out, because that was a very dangerous job, and some of them do get, and the team does get casualties at the end, but they do a good job, and one escapes and warns the other group that this gray team, the gray as they call themselves, are going to come after them. So yeah, this okay. I'm actually doing a review now. This what I'm trying to say is that this whole series, it's very emotional. It's very good in terms of everybody has an arc that they go through. It's very plot driven, as the Grey's focus is on destroying the parasites. The parasites focuses on surviving. Our two main characters' focus is it becomes surviving, but they have to survive by basically destroying these parasites, because these parasites threaten them personally, and because they know the secrets of the group, and these parasites want to operate in secrecy. So it's very intriguing, the play that goes on, the way how these people move and maneuver through all of that, and it's a very lovely series, because it's very, I don't want to say, there are some times where it kind of lags on the character development, like you don't really root for the characters as much, but as it builds up, you really do start to like them, and it becomes a very good show at the end, at the crux of it. So I'd really say it's worth a watch. And at the end, there's a big surprise where the original, as this, I kind of feel this is a loose adaptation. I haven't read the manga, but I'd probably do some more research on it. But the main character of the original manga, which is Izumi Shinichi, he's the one that shows up at the end of the series to talk to the Grey team, and introduces himself to the Grey team. And yeah, you're gonna see why that's such a good reveal at the end if season 2 comes through. So yeah, that was my thoughts on it. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for the 7 subscribers that I have. I had 3 at the beginning of the year. I have 7 now. Yeah, that it feels good. So yeah, thank you.